Do you really know Canada? You might think you do. Cold weather, nice people, maple syrup, and hockey, right? But what if I told you that almost everything you think you know is only the surface? What if I told you that Canada has secrets that even many Americans have never heard? Things so strange, so unexpected, and so unbelievable that you might question everything you thought you understood about this quiet northern country. A desert hidden in the mountains. A sun that refuses to go down for months. Laws that will shock you. Nature that doesn't exist anywhere else on Earth. And history that will make you say, "How did I not know this?" Canada looks calm on the outside, but the truth? It's one of the most surprising countries in the world. And today you're about to see why. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into a world most people think they understand, but actually don't. We're talking about Canada, a country full of hidden surprises, secret natural wonders, shocking laws, strange traditions, and stories that almost feel unreal. Most Americans only know the basics: cold weather, polite people, hockey, and maple syrup. But the truth? Canada is way more than what movies, TV shows, and memes have shown you. Behind that quiet reputation is a country that's wild, mysterious, beautiful, and full of things that will make you say, "Wait, that's in Canada?" So buckle your seatbelt, get comfortable, and keep your eyes open. Because today, we're breaking down 15 mind-blowing things Americans don't know about Canada. And trust me, number 7 and number 12 will shock you the most. Let's get started. 1. Canada has the longest coastline in the world. Americans might know about the U.S. coast, but Canada? That's a whole different level. Canada's coastline stretches over 202,000 kilometers. Yes, you heard that right. That's long enough to wrap around the entire Earth not once, not twice, but 5 whole times. Just imagine it. Endless beaches, wild waves, frozen shores, rocky cliffs, and quiet islands that almost no one has ever stepped on. Canada has thousands of places where the land meets the ocean. Untouched by buildings, untouched by roads, untouched by people. It's like nature showing off. Most Americans have no idea that the world's biggest, longest, and most breathtaking coastline belongs to the country right above them. 2. Canada has its own desert. Yes, Canada has a desert, and most Americans don't even believe it until they see it. Hidden in British Columbia is the Okanagan Desert, a place that looks like it came straight out of Arizona or Mexico. It's dry, sandy, and scorching hot in the summer. And guess what? There are real cacti growing there. Not the tiny kind, the tall, sharp desert-style ones you normally see in movies. The land is filled with rare plants, rattlesnakes, sagebrush, and wildlife that you would never expect to find in Canada. Who said deserts only exist in hot tropical countries? Canada quietly breaks that rule, and most people have no idea this mini-Sahara exists right in the Great White North. 3. Canadians are surprisingly tall. Most Americans don't expect this, but Canadians are actually a little taller on average. Yes, and the people who say sorry every 5 minutes are quietly standing a bit above their neighbors to the south. The average Canadian man is slightly taller than the average American man, and many visitors are shocked when they notice it. Maybe it's the fresh air, maybe it's all the outdoor activities, or maybe it's the hockey genes, and who knows. And here's the funny part. Canadians eat poutine, a heavy mix of fries, gravy, and cheese curd, yet somehow they don't shrink. They just keep growing tall. It's almost like the cold weather stretches them out. So if you ever visit Canada, don't be surprised if you find yourself looking up at more people than you expected. 4. The maple syrup empire. Americans love maple syrup, but here's the shocking truth. Canada doesn't just make a lot of it. Canada practically owns the maple syrup world. The country produces about 71% of the world's pure maple syrup, which means most of the syrup that ends up on pancakes, waffles, and breakfast tables across the globe started from a Canadian tree. And this isn't cheap watery syrup. This is the real deal. Thick, sweet, golden maple syrup that comes straight from the sap of maple trees. In fact, it's so valuable that people actually call it liquid gold. Believe it or not, there was even a huge maple syrup heist years ago where thieves stole millions of dollars worth of syrup. Canada treats maple syrup like treasure. Because it basically is. Imagine living in a country where the trees give you something that the whole world wants. That's Canada's maple syrup empire. Canada is a country of lakes. Most people have no idea just how watery Canada really is. With over 2 million lakes, Canada has more lakes than every other country on Earth combined. That's not a small difference, and that's a mind-blowing one. If you thought America had a lot of lakes, think again. Canada's lakes stretch across forests, mountains, tundra, and tiny remote towns. Some lakes are so big they look like oceans, while others are hidden gems you can only reach by plane or hiking for hours. When you look at a map, it almost appears like someone poked holes all over Canada and filled them with water. Lakes for fishing, lakes for canoeing, lakes for wildlife, lakes so clear you can see the bottom like glass. If nature had a favorite country to store all its water, it would definitely be Canada. 6. A bilingual nation. Canada doesn't just speak English, and it proudly speaks 2 official languages, English and French. And the French influence isn't small or hidden, it's everywhere. Yes, Quebec is the heart of French culture in Canada, but bilingual life goes far beyond that province. Across the country, you'll find road signs in both languages, government offices that switch easily between English and French, and schools where kids grow up speaking both. Even product labels at the grocery store come in 2 languages, so you might pick up a cereal box and feel like you're suddenly in Paris. For Americans who are used to mostly English-only signs, the idea of reading French every single day can feel surprising, even confusing. But for Canadians, it's just normal life. It's part of what makes their country feel rich, diverse, and connected to 2 different cultures at the same time. Canada isn't just bilingual, it's proudly bilingual. Sure, the real home of ice hockey. Everyone loves NHL hockey, the fast skating, the big hits, the crazy goals. But here's something many Americans don't realize. The sport didn't just grow in Canada. Canada invented ice hockey as we know it today. The frozen ponds, the rough winter weather, the competitive spirit. It all started in Canada, where kids grow up playing hockey before they can even tie their shoes. In many towns, the rink is the heart of the community. Families gather there, friends meet there, and everyone cheers like their lives depend on it. For Canadians, hockey isn't just a game. It's almost a national religion. It's part of their identity. It's in their history, their culture, their childhood memories, and their national pride. So while the NHL is watched around the world, the true home of ice hockey will always be Canada. 8. Wildlife. That will shock you. When most people think of Canadian animals, they picture moose wandering through the forest or bears catching fish in rivers. But Canada's wildlife is far wilder and stranger than that. In the far north, polar bears roam across the icy tundra, looking like something out of a National Geographic documentary. Wolves move freely through forests, hunting in packs with incredible teamwork. And if you think rivers are safe, think again. Some are home to giant sturgeon that can grow so big they could swallow a small dog whole. And it's not just these famous animals. Canada has lynxes, caribou, beavers, and countless species of birds that fill the skies. The country's vast wilderness means that in many areas, humans are visitors in a land ruled by animals. Canada isn't just about cute wildlife. It's about nature at its most raw, surprising, and sometimes terrifyingly big. For the midnight sun. In the far north of Canada, summer doesn't work the way you're used to. Here, the sun doesn't set for months at a time. Imagine waking up at 2 a.m., rubbing your eyes and realizing it's still bright outside. The sky is glowing, the world looks alive, and the day just keeps going and going. This phenomenon, called the midnight sun, happens above the Arctic Circle. In places like Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, people can go hiking, fishing, or exploring at what would normally be the middle of the night, without ever needing a flashlight. It's beautiful, it's strange, and it's the kind of experience that makes you rethink what day and night really mean. Americans are often shocked to hear this because in most of the U.S., darkness always comes at night. But in northern Canada, the sun has its own rules. 10. Extreme weather. Everyone knows Canada is cold, but most Americans have no idea just how extreme it can get. Some towns in the far north have recorded temperatures as low as 60 degrees, 76 degrees. That's colder than most freezers at home. Imagine stepping outside and feeling the icy wind burn your face, your eyelashes freezing together, and your breath turning to clouds the moment it leaves your mouth. Daily life becomes a challenge. Walking, driving, even opening your car door can be an adventure. And it's not just winter. Canada experiences a huge range of weather, from scorching hot summers in the south to blizzards that can bury entire towns. The weather here isn't just something to talk about. It's something Canadians live with every single day. So when people think Canada is just cold, they have no idea what real cold actually looks like. 11. Free healthcare. Most Americans know a little about Canada's healthcare, but they're often shocked when they learn the truth. Canada has a government-funded healthcare system, which means that for most basic medical needs, Canadians don't have to worry about huge bills or going bankrupt after a visit to the doctor. It's not perfect. Some treatments or specialist visits can take time, and certain things like dental care or prescription drugs might not be fully covered. But the fact remains, you can see a doctor, get treatment, or even have surgery without staring at a price tag that could ruin your finances. For many Americans, this seems almost impossible. They're used to insurance, deductibles, and shocking medical bills. In Canada, healthcare is treated like a public right, not a luxury. It's one of the things that makes life there safer, more secure, and in many ways less stressful. So while the system isn't flawless, it's a huge difference from what most people in the US experience. And that often comes as a big surprise. 12. A land of politeness, really. Canada's reputation for being polite isn't just a stereotype. It's actually built into everyday life. Canadians apologize constantly, not just out of habit but sometimes out of law. In some provinces, if you accidentally bump into someone or cause a minor accident, saying sorry can legally protect you. Imagine that. This politeness goes beyond the law. On the streets, in stores, or on public transit, Canadians genuinely try to be courteous to everyone around them. They hold doors open, let others merge in traffic, and treat strangers with respect. For Americans, this level of everyday politeness can feel almost shocking. In Canada, kindness isn't optional. It's part of the culture. Saying sorry isn't weakness, it's a way of keeping communities connected and safe. So next time you hear a Canadian apologize, know that it's not just habit. It's a small glimpse into a country where manners and respect are taken very seriously. 13. A nation of immigrants. Canada is one of the most welcoming countries in the world, and it shows. People from all corners of the globe come to Canada to live, work, and build a future. This makes it one of the most multicultural countries on earth. A place where diversity isn't just a word, it's a way of life. Walk down the streets of Toronto, Vancouver, or Montreal, and you'll hear dozens of languages, smell foods from every continent, and see cultures blending in amazing ways. Festivals, traditions, and cuisines from around the world are celebrated openly and proudly. For many Americans, this level of diversity can be surprising. Canada doesn't just tolerate differences, it embraces them. Immigrants are welcomed, communities thrive, and everyone contributes to the nation's unique culture. So when you think of Canada, don't just picture maple syrup and snow. Think of a country that has built its identity on people from everywhere coming together. Canadian innovations. You use daily. Canadians might be known for politeness and hockey, but they've quietly changed the way the world lives. Ever used a zipper on your jacket? Rode a snowmobile through snow? Watched an IMAX movie in a giant theater? Believe it or not, Canadians invented all of these and many more. Some of these inventions are small but life-changing, like insulin, which helps millions of people survive diabetes. Others are big, bold, and exciting, like the Canadarm that helped astronauts in space. Yet many Americans have no idea these everyday and extraordinary tools came from Canada. It's proof that Canada doesn't always brag about its achievements, it just quietly shapes the world. Every time you zip up your jacket, ride through snow, or watch a massive screen in awe, you're benefiting from Canadian creativity and ingenuity. 15. Canada's heartbeat is nature. Finally, one of the most amazing things about Canada is how deeply connected Canadians are to nature. They don't just live in a country with beautiful landscapes, and they live with it. From the towering peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the thundering power of Niagara Falls, from endless pristine forests to rivers so wide they seem to stretch forever. Nature isn't just scenery in Canada, it's a way of life. People hike, camp, fish, and explore these wild spaces year-round. The northern lights dance across the sky in the Arctic, and the calm, clear lakes reflect the mountains like mirrors. It's breathtaking, the kind of beauty that makes you stop, stare, and realize how vast and incredible the world really is. Most Americans don't realize just how dramatic and awe-inspiring Canada's landscapes are. It's a country where nature shapes daily life, inspires culture, and reminds everyone that the wild world isn't just somewhere else. It's right at your doorstep. So next time someone tells you Canada is just a cold, polite country full of maple syrup and hockey, you can confidently tell them the truth. Canada is wild, dramatic, inspiring, and full of secrets that most Americans, and even the rest of the world, have no idea about. From deserts hidden in the mountains to the midnight sun that never sets, from towering lakes to giant sturgeon, this country is full of surprises around every corner. Which fact shocked you the most? Was it the maple syrup empire, the wild animals, or maybe the extreme weather? Let us know in the comments. We love hearing what blows your mind. And if you want to uncover more incredible, eye-opening stories from around the world, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a mind-blowing discovery.